Peace and love, family. Peace and love. Welcome to U.S. Political Prisoners and You, brought to you by the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition and EPPC. Welcome to day number 11 of Black History Month 2026. I hope that you are engaged in some serious lessons or programs regarding the history of Black History Month and key figures and what does it mean in 2026, where we still have to deal with the fight for our right to have self-determination, to be self-determined, to control our own destiny. Today we focus on the life of Rosa Parks, right? Rosa Parks was a political prisoner because she stood up and she was arrested because of her because she advocated her right and our right to self-determination. Sometimes we look at something like that and don't think is significant, but is very significant because it's a model. It's what so many other people are feeling, but not necessarily willing to take that position. But Rosa Parks, she did that, and she was in prison because of her right or her courage to stand up and fight uh, this oppressive system. So just want to let you know, if you're interested in doing work to free our political prisoners, please contact me at 646 543 Please encourage the others to subscribe to Black Power Media, our channel, right? We have a right to control our own narrative, and therefore we should support our media. So Rosa Parks, Rosa Louise McCarley Parks, February 4th, 1913, she made her transition. She became an ancestor in October 25th, 2005, was an American civil rights activist. She is best known for her 1955 refusal to move from her seat on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, in defiance of Jim Crow racial segregation laws, which sparked the Montgomery bus boycott. She is sometimes known as the mother of the civil rights movement. Born in Tuskegee, Alabama, Park grew up under Jim Crow segregation. She later moved to Montgomery and joined the city's chapter of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, in 1943, serving as the organization's secretary. Despite policies designed to disenfranchise Black citizens, Parks successfully registered to vote after three separate attempts between 1943 and 1945. She investigated cases and organized campaigns around cases of racial and sexual violence in her capacity as NAACP secretary, including those of Ray C. Taylor and Jeremiah Reeves, laying the groundwork for future civil rights campaigns. Custom in Montgomery required Black passengers to surrender their seats in the front of the bus to accommodate white riders. The rows in the black were designed for Black riders. Before Park's refusal to move, several Black Montgomeryans had refused to do so, including 15-year-old high school student Claudette Colvin, leading to arrest. When Parks was arrested in 1955, local leaders were searching for a person who would be a good legal test case against segregation. All right, so there's more information about that. I just wanted to have something to go on so we get an idea of who she was and her significance, her importance, and how that relates to political prisoners. Well, obviously, she was a political prisoner because she was arrested because of her stance. She had politics. She was involved in NAACP. She understood what was going on. She grew up in segregation, and she understood what was happening. That was the day that she decided that she was going to do something. She was going to take a stance. Our political prisoners understand what's going on in our community. They fight for housing, for clothing, and for food for us, right? And they doing that, and they going up against the system. The system extract profit off of our labor, right? And so that they are able to exploit us. They put it our exploitation puts us in an oppressive state. And I think that when we look at our political prisoners taking a position for us, we need to applaud them. We need to recognize them. We need to write them. We need to do what is necessary to bring them home, and we can do that. So Rosa Parks, being a political prisoner and us recognizing her as a political prisoner, we understand that our captured freedom fighters are frontline soldiers, and they need our best support. They need to see us do the necessary work. And we have to be clear about that, right? We have to be clear when we start talking about our political prisoners and talking about why, whenever we engage in anything, that we need to give them a position, give them a position to be discussed. And then when we start to do that, then we start to validate them, and validate them in a way where we're conscious of their sacrifices and their commitment. And we don't accept what the state is saying about them, calling them troublemakers, calling them, because I'm pretty sure in the South, when Rosa Parks did what she did, she was labeled a troublemaker, somebody who stirred trouble. But you know, there's good trouble, and she was involved in good trouble. And her business, her trouble, raised awareness of other people. And as the information that I gave you indicated, you know, she sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, and our political prisoners spark things in us. They spark change. You know, the free breakfast program, that was because of what the Black Panther Party did. And a number of Panther Party members were political prisoners. Even today, we have people who were part of the Black Panther Party who are political prisoners. You have Mumia Abu-Jamal, you have Kamal Siddiqui. And that's to let you know that this attack is very serious, and it's an attack that we need to look at and ask ourselves, wow, we're a threat, right? We're a threat to the status quo. We're a threat to things going on to the way that they've been going. And but once we start evaluating history, now we start understanding what we need to do. We understand our role in it, why it's important to us, because history is only important to us if it empowers us, right? So I want to say that slowly. History is only important to us, or it can only be powerful if we use it to empower us. And some people say, how do we do that? Well, if we go back to Rosa Parks was involved in the organization. Rosa Parks accepted a position in the organization. She was a secretary. She investigated different situations that were going on. And so when we look at how her history is, or that particular part of our history, now we start to understand the importance and the value of being amongst a group of people, being in an organized setting, being a part of an organized force, right? Because now you have structure, you have an agenda, you have an ideas that are a part of collective, you have that united front, right? We all don't have to like each other, we don't have to care particularly for each other, but we have to be an expression of love for our people, right? We have to focus on that. How do we do something that's going to impact our people as a collective? We have to do it in an organized manner. And or the only thing that means is being somewhere at a particular time, accepting a role and carrying out a collective decision. And that's why when you study Rosa Parks, and Rosa Parks understand, okay, this is the day that I'm going to do what we decided to do as a collective. I'm going to get arrested. I'm going to sit where I want on the bus, and I'm not going to move. And I don't care what threats is going to happen. I'm pretty sure that she understood how vicious racism is and was in the South during that particular time, as the description gave about her life. She grew up in the segregated South, Jim Crow South. So she knew it firsthand. She knew it to be very serious, to be very dangerous to your physical well-being, right? To stand up for yourself, because those who are in power know that if they don't use you as an example to and inflict their fear into a people, then their position of power is compromised. They're no longer going to be able to do a number of things. But once somebody stands up, once there's organized effort, now that the dynamic is interrupted, it changes. And so when you look at the Montgomery bus boycott that was initiated because of Rosa Parks' stance, now you understand the power of organizing. Now you understand the attention that you're going to get, because when she does that, now you have others getting involved, and now you're marching, you're protesting, and you're transforming people, right? That was very important and powerful when I was educated on what a march does. A march transforms the people, it raises their consciousness. Imagine seeing people who look like you decide and say that we're not going to take the bus. We're not going to finance our oppressor. We're not going to finance our disrespect. Today is a new day. And how inspiring that is, because you're going to go to school, you're going to go to church, you're going to go to your places of business, and you're going to talk about what's going on. And nothing is more powerful than word of mouth, because now others will start to talk about it, and others start to say, wow, I have an option. I don't have to accept this as normal. I don't have to accept this as something that I can't change. Matter of fact, somebody's doing something. And I see those people, right? Those people are my neighbors. Those people are my colleagues. Those people go to school with me. Those people are parents of my neighbors. Those people are my family members. Oh, now I got the courage to do something. I got the courage to take a position, to take a stance. So, in order for us to really appreciate Rosa Parks, a political prisoner, really appreciate people like Mumia Jamal, Kenny Zulu Whitmore, people like Ronald Reed, people like Joseph Bowen, and many others, we have to actually do some serious work. We have to align ourselves with an organization. We got to take a position. We got to write to a political prisoner, let them know that they're not forgotten, that we are not going to be happy knowing that they die in prison, right? Because when Imam Jamil Al-Amin died in prison, that bothered me deeply. When Ed Poindexter died in prison, that bothered me deeply, because I had to look at myself and internalize what I was doing. Was I doing enough? Or was I allowing others to tell me what I should do and what I should not do? Or was I going on my own consciousness, deciding this is what I know, this is what I think is right, this is what I'm going to do? I have to build a relationship between my ideas and those who I engage with regularly, right? If I'm in the community of Queensbridge, I gotta be the representation of advocating for the freedom of political prisoners. That's why when you see me in Queensbridge, the community of Queensbridge, you'll usually see me in uniform, right? I'm gonna have on the hat. I'm gonna have on a shirt. I'm going to represent that demeanor of I'm advocating for political prisoners. That's exactly what my intentions are for being in that community. Is taking on a responsibility to advance our people's consciousness. I'll be at a grievance support group this Thursday from the hours of 6 to 8. Anybody who's viewing would like to talk to a group of people to like to be heard, right? A lot of times in life and in our everyday interactions with other people, we're not being heard. But that's the moment to do that. But that is not an example, or that is not a deed that I do that wasn't done for me, right? It was done for me different ways, right? Political prisoners sold Panther newspapers. Imagine Panther newspapers being sold to you. You're reading it, and it's explaining what's happening to your people, and it's explaining how your people are oppressed and what it leaves in terms of their actions, their deeds, and who is responsible for that, and what it's going to take to change that reality. So you're being made conscious, you're taking it upon yourself to play a role in an organization. And that's exactly what Rosa Parks did. That's exactly what members of the Black Panther Party and members of the Black Liberation Army decided to do. They decided that they were going to take a role in the liberation of their people's right to be self-determined. And they decided that, it's not about getting paid to do that work. It is about being responsible. It is about accountability. It is about knowing something and actually doing something about it. So we applaud those who took action. And for those of you who are interested in taking action, the contact information to contact me is 646-543-0720. If you're an artist, I'd like to see some of your work. See if we could do something around political prisoners. Put up a mural somewhere so we could raise awareness and raise the consciousness of the community about what's going on, and the fact that people have took a stance, and those stance we benefit from. And that in 2026, when we start talking about Black History Month, we start talking about Rosa Parks. Let's dissect her life. Let's dissect what she was involved in. Let's dissect how we benefit from her example. Let's dissect how her example led to others being involved. Her example led to a significant historical movement happening, and that is the Alabama bus boycott. All that time, all the walking, all the pressure that was put on them to just accept what was going on, just accept mistreatment. Imagine going to work from 9 to 5, or at that time it was probably a 16-hour shift was regular, and you're tired. You just want to go home to your family, and you're told that you are not getting no fare reduction, right? You're paying what everybody else is paying, but you're gonna only sit in the back because of the color of your skin. Now, those who don't have the same color skin as you, they can sit anywhere they want. But you black, you gotta sit in the back. So just imagine the statement that is made by that. And imagine what Rosa Parks did for those people who were feeling angry, who were feeling upset, who was feeling disrespected, but yet they didn't have something to inspire them to do something about it. So here comes Rosa Parks. She takes her stance, and now you have the Montgomery bus boycott, and now you have organized emotion happening amongst the masses. Their consciousness is being raised, and everybody's deciding. Well, those who are witnessing that and relate to it differently, relating to it in terms of there is something I can do. I have options. I don't have to accept the option as this is being normal. I'm going to accept the option that I can change my reality. And in fact, I'm going to do something, just like Rosa Parks did. And they joined the march, and the march goes on for days, for months, after a year, until the bus company falls on their knees, right? Basically, because now they're losing so much money. They realize how much they were relying on that black dollar. They realized that, wow, it really wasn't as important as we made it, and having people sit in the back of the bus. But one of the things that I want to take time to talk about is that there's some action taking place, and it was brought to me on an email around Mumia needing assistance, support for some medical treatment that he needs to get done. Contact me at 646-543-0720. If you want that information, I'll text it to you. Just put it in a text. Let me know that. Give me the information on what actions need to be taken towards Mumia's situation. Again, my contact information is 646-543-0720. And also, I want to announce that brother that I admire and love tremendously, Jalil Abdul Mutakim. He has his podcast coming up February 23rd. I want to give you the flyer, so please text me if you're interested in getting a flyer. Let's put that out there. Let's get somebody who has sacrificed so much for us, that platform, that introduction into the podcast world. His contact me at 646-543-0720, and just text me that you want that flyer, and give it to as many people as possible. I thought that I was able to share it here, but because of the situation, the arrangement that I have using my camera, my cell phone camera, that feature is not permitted on this. At some time, I'll start to examine it more and see if I could get that. But anyway, back to the conversation. Thank you for that, for your time and patience to hear about those two actions that we need to support. Again, my contact information is 646-543-0720. So back to Rosa Parks, political prisoner, right? She took her position, she took her stance, and we appreciate that. And I just think a lot of times where sometimes we think action is not important or is not going to make a difference. And that's why I tell people you have to write to a political prisoner, because it's going to do something for you and them at the same time. It's going to raise your consciousness, and it's going to let you be better equipped to addressing political prisoners. Now, when I say better equipped, now you're going to say, okay, it's somebody that I know who's in prison because of their political views. Somebody that I know just like me, has a family, has a love for um, people like me, for Black working class people. And I just think that, when you start understanding that and it becomes real, now your passion is awakened. Now you decide that, wow, I have to take this serious. This is something that I need to really examine. Let me get a bit more committed to advocating for this person's freedom, right? They should not die in prison because all they did was wake up and decided that they were going to be a part of some serious change. They decided that they were not going to be liberal about love for the people, right? Some people say they have love for the people, right? But love is a verb. Love is action. Love is not what you say, it's what you do. So our captured freedom fighters, our political prisoners did that. They acted on what they knew love actually was. Matulu said, love is not what you say, is what you do. And that's exactly what they did. They organized, they fought for housing rights, they fought to have free breakfast for our children. They fought to test the lead in the paint uh, in the places that we were living. They had educational programs. They tested for sickle cell anemia. They did a number of things and things that we still benefit from because it was an example of what you have to do for yourself. It was an example of don't wait for the government, don't wait for those who are supposed to do things for you to start it. You have to start it yourself. Don't wait for that money to come through. Organize people, right? You could get $1 here, you get $5 here, you get $10 here. Now you could bring that money together and decide that this is what we're going to do for our people. We're actually going to have something that's beneficial for the collective. We're going to actually inspire our people to let our people know that, listen, man, this is our community. We run this community. We don't have to rely on anybody outside of this community to make sure that this community stands strong, remains strong, right? So when you start to take those actions, when you start to be that example, is beneficial for your peers, but also for those coming up under you, those who are looking for guidance, right? The babies are our leaders, right? And so we are being an example of how we need to be led, right? We need to be accountable. We need to take the initiative to do something, not necessarily waiting for people to tell us what to do or tell us that what we're doing is good or bad, right? We have to decide, okay, I did my research. I'm going to take this action. This is where I'm going to be. This is how much time I'm going to commit to this particular action. And I'm going to see who feels the same way, right? I might come outside today and nobody has interest in what I'm doing. Then I come out the side the next day and 5 people have interest in what I'm doing. Then I come out the day after that, then nobody again has any interest in what I'm doing. Then the day after that, 10 people have interest in what I'm doing. So now it's following a pattern. You start to understand that, oh wow, I don't need to be discouraged by nobody having interest. I know at some point somebody's going to have an interest. And if I could just get that one person to have an interest, and if I get that one person to take a position with me, now it's 2 people doing something. And now we focus on doubling our numbers. So that's why I say when I put out the podcast on behalf of the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition, the NEPPC, or, on Black Power Media, I'm thankful, right? Because I know that somebody somewhere is listening. Somebody somewhere is going to accept the responsibility that they need to make time to write to a political prisoner. And that one person is going to share that information with somebody else. And those 2 people are going to do the same thing. And now we start having a force that can address political prisoners, that can say that, these are not criminals. These are not terrorists. These, in fact, captured freedom fighters. They are political prisoners because they got clear politics. Their politics is rooted in love for the people, and we're not going to ignore them. Right? We're going to fight to bring them home. We're going to do that as a collective. We're going to do what we can wherever we are. We're going to develop relationships in the community around political prisoners. We're going to be the example of what was done for us, and we're going to do it because the political prisoner done it for us. And that's what I strive to do when I'm in the community of Queensbridge, because I try not to get comfortable with just doing things online, right? I still got to see people. I still have to make time to engage people, see where they're at, see how they're doing, see how I can help them, see what resources I have access to So now I could give it to them. And now they understand that, listen, this is what it's about, right? This is what it's done for me, and I'm going to do it for you. And once we start to engage, now I tell them, listen, I need your support. I need you to make time to write to a political prisoner. There's going to be a program happening. I need to see if you could come there. If you can't come, please share this information with somebody who you think would come. And if you're a part of a church, if you're a part of a masjid, if you're into the Christianity faith or the Islamic faith or Judaism, right? Whatever your faith is, what's their position on political prisoners? Who were their prophets? What relationship did their prophets have to the state at that time? Right? Were they in compliance? Were they challenged it? What was their prophets' position against injustice? Right? Were they compliant? Did they ignore it? What did they do? Right? And once you start understanding that, then you start understanding, oh, their prophet was a political prisoner. Their prophet was the example of what you need to do. And this is what I need to do in 2026 when I'm aware of injustice. I got to stand up to it. I got to be with those who are standing up. I got to support the fight to free our political prisoners. That's why Mumia needs us. So please contact me at 646-543-0720 so I can give you that information about what the call is to advocate for Mumia getting what he needs in terms of his medical care to maintain his health, because we don't want his health to decline. And also on February 23rd, be on the lookout for Jalil Abdul Muttaqin's podcast, We Are Our Own Liberators. It's much needed. We got to support our own media. We got to control our own narrative, right? Because if we don't do that, then we look at news and we think that that's the truth. We'll be compliant. We'll be accepting what's being said to us instead of declaring what needs to be said for us, by us, right? It is our responsibility to do that. So we're very thankful for the example of Rosa Parks. She's a sister, a strong sister, and that's the example for another generation to have. Like, being right or standing on principle is not always going to be comfortable, right? It's not going to always be accepted amongst people. Some people are going to look at you like you're crazy. Like you said, why are you doing that? You know, this is the way it's always been. We need to accept it. Or some people would tell you, oh, just be thankful it's not worse. Just be thankful it's not worse. And then you're going to say, well, I'm going to be thankful because I'm conscious and I'm going to make it better. I'm going to correct the wrong. And I'm going to correct the wrong by taking a position, taking a definitive position, not accepting this as reality, because I don't want to pass this down to another generation. So now this other generation, they looking at themselves as subhuman. They're looking at themselves as not worthy of self-determination. But before I end this episode, I just wanted to show you some of the books that I have in my library, but just in case you are looking to purchase some books to educate yourself during Black History Month. These are some very important books, especially these books written by our political prisoners. Mumia Abu-Jamal, We Want Freedom. He lays out the history of the Black Panther Party. I thought he did a great job. This book right here is incredible because it's a collective autobiography of the Panther 21. It includes Afeni Shakur's accounts, includes Sekou Dinga's account, and a number of others who were part of the Panther 21. And I was inspired by the account of how they came to be involved in the Black Panther Party. And they were just like me. They were dealing with the same struggles in their family. And they decided that, you know, I'm going to be about some change because I'm conscious now. And I'm not comfortable with just knowing something. I want to do something with what I know. And that is elevated consciousness. That is being conscious, actually, because if you know something and you're not taking action, then you're just informed. So they went from being informed to being conscious. And I think that it is important for us to learn their story because we understand how normal, how regular they all were. They didn't possess no superpower. They only loved their people. So with that being said, I say don't let political prisoners die in prison. In fact, don't let another political prisoner die in prison. Let's do our part. This is Black History Month. Make time to learn about our political prisoners, include them in your Black History Month programs. That being said, make time to write to a political prisoner. Don't let political prisoners be forgotten. Don't let them die in prison. Don't let another political prisoner die in prison. Peace and love, y'all.